Good morning. I thought I would do this video today. It's kind of raining off and on. I'm hoping there's a little gap so I can go outside because I like to go outside every day for some portion of the day. And take these off for a second. And just to get some sun or cloud or whatever's out there. Today it'll be cloud for sure. It looks like it's supposed to do it for 5 days in a row. So I might go a little crazy. But I got a treadmill, I could use that. But I just wanted to do a video like a response, I guess, to Maha's treasure box, which you can kind of see in my history there on the screen. This is me trying to master this 2-window thing, thanks to a family member. I think I got the hang of it now. I figured out how to move myself around. I think. There we go. Yep, I can put myself in different places, like over top of that history thing, which won't go away. So that's cool. Then I can come over here and I can scroll. So what I'm going to show is just my watch history, and then those will be the channels that I'm shouting out. But this all started here with Maha's treasure box. It's time for shoutouts. But of course, when you type # hashtag shoutouts on YouTube, you get this strange stuff like this. Like this one called Spaghetti Mukbang. And it looks like she's just eating spaghetti and being cute about it, I guess. So of course you gotta type something a bit more appropriate, like shoutouts space tarot, and that seems to give a better list, although oddly it doesn't give Maha's original video. That's weird. But you can see Cosmic Creepers Tube, Heather Carter, Julian Victoria, Pika Boo Rose. I'm not sure how to say that, but she speaks very well. That was a good video. Little Zen Crone, I'm forgetting her old channel name. Julie, I can't remember. Then there's Jennifer Ball's Witch House, which surprised the heck out of me. I mean, I subscribed to her channel, but she mentioned my channel. I didn't see that coming. Yeah, so much for future casting. Then there's Readings by Gwendolyn, which I think was shoutouts. Tarot Alchemists, of course. I watched that, but I don't think those were tarot. They were non-tarot, because she said she's cut back like a lot of people. Nobody here had a shout-out response a couple times. And I think the last one here is Two Paths Tarot, who also had an interesting list. So I found some new channels to watch. I think that's the last one there in my search. Yep. Then it goes off and does the YouTube messed up search thing where it shows you all kinds of stuff you don't want to see. So let's go back to my history. And there I am, the first time trying to test out this. Well, not really the first time. I tried several times. But that seemed to work for a live chat, okay. I mean, my chat wasn't so okay, but it was okay. You know, I'm not really a live chat sort of person. I think you have to be given to talking, and I'm okay with silence, but it's not so okay to have a silent live chat. It's kind of wrong somehow. But there's a channel I've discovered, Jen the Taxidermy Witchifer, based on Tarathon. So I got something out of Tarathon, right? I did order some candles from her Etsy shop, so they're coming, I suppose. Anytime I see candle stuff, I'm interested. And there's a new channel for me, Moon Priestess. She showed a modification of the 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot, so that was interesting. There's the original Maha's Treasure Box shout out video again. And we saw Tarot Alchemist before, and we saw Jennifer before. There's a new channel for me, Nat T-J. That's interesting. And it's kind of odd to see, for me anyway, because I don't sleep well. I'm a sleepwalker, but not as much as it used to be, but it still happens. But it's interesting to see those videos that come up because I'm there probably with the remote control popping around. But I usually start off with something like Terrence McKenna, Alan Watts, Eckhart Tolle, all these things where people are just talking. Sometimes they interact with the audience. These are older talks. A lot of them, which gets a little boring, is him talking about drugs like psilocybin, mushrooms, DMT, and the psychedelic experience. Not my bag, man. But I do like that one lecture right there, the one that says alchemy and the hermetic corpus. That's pretty good. That's very interesting. He has another good video where he lists the books that influenced him. Like a lot of these people read really early in their life, which is not something I did. Not at all. I was more physical. Not like Olivia Newton-John, but I was more physical. And that's a good little lecture there, the taxonomy of illusion. That's interesting. So those are things I tend to fall asleep. I've watched them several times, I think. I have a whole playlist if you're interested. I think I do. What's it called? TM Magic, I think I call it. And of course, it's YouTube, so you gotta watch dogs and cats, right? And various animals do various things. Because there must be a gazillion of these videos. But this is from a channel I used to watch a long time ago. I think it's popular. A family member, daughter, liked it. But that poor little dog has lost his teeth and his tongue is always flopping out of his mouth, but he seems to like to wear shirts. So for his birthday, she got him 11 shirts, even though she really got him 12 shirts. I guess one to grow on. And on YouTube, for me anyway, try to find different things where people are like whacking on stuff. Like, I think she's a drummer. There's another really good person with the hand pan. That's what that thing that looks like a UFO is. Banged and dented and has a hole in the bottom, I believe. And here's a cat video I made but haven't really shared yet. It's where me and the neighbor's cat, who are currently not so friendly, I gave in and decided I didn't have any cat treats, so I'll just give her a dog treat. Those are like bacon strips. That old commercial used to be, dogs don't know it's not bacon. I think somewhere in there I say cats don't even know what bacon is. But she ate it. She don't care what I give her. I could give her hot sauce and she'd probably eat it. And then there's a channel where someone, does it move? No, some of these don't move. I guess in your history they don't do animated GIF. That's okay. Lantern Light Tarot, which I watch sometimes because she has some massive deck collection and I might see something I like. I might not buy it from her, but So that's kind of interesting. A bit too Catholic sometimes, but that's okay. I have lots of family members. And there's a mega tarot community channel, The Truth and Story, Kelly, we all know probably. There's a new channel for me, Hecate's Crossing. I believe I'm probably mispronouncing it. I would see it as Hecate, but Hecate, something like that. I can't remember how she pronounced it. So that's interesting, new channel. I've been watching this forever, the NCAS video. It's for people who are skeptical about everything and anything. And that was interesting about, some of the hoaxes in anthropology or archaeology maybe. And then to counterbalance a channel that's skeptical with one that's kind of semi-skeptical but also kind of crazy and conspiracy theory kinda. I believe his name is Thomas Sheridan. He does have tarot. He talks about tarot. So it's kind of interesting. Then here's me trying to supplement my family member instruction on how to use OBS. This guy right here is very good. It's Jack Cole, a bit, commercially, promo, marketing, that sort of thing. That's interesting. And I went and watched one of the Tiger's Abyss live tarot readings. I never heard of that before. I might try that just to see how that goes. As I'm sure I've said before, I'm not so in tune with the idea of remote reading, but I understand why they're doing it. I understand the income stream. I understand all that. And there's another new channel for me, Practical Mystic Carol, sharing her journey. That's interesting. Anytime anybody shares just about anything, it's kind of interesting. There's Jennifer again, High Priestess Illumination. I think that was just a remote reading, I think. And then one of the many art channels I follow is a guy named Teo, who's in Singapore most of the time, although he does travel. They do that cool thing where they walk around wherever and sketch things. And they sketch kind of in the style that I'm okay with. It's not art schoolish. Some of them are very polished, but others are they're just out in nature, sketching buildings, cars, people, whatever, and walking around. So I'm down with that. And we saw her before, Jen, the taxidermy witch. And here's Sacred Keep, who I've been following at least for over a year. I enjoy some of those. I may not be in that place in terms of how you read, but that's okay. I do enjoy them. She gets a lot of views, 444. That's interesting. And that's what caused me. I did buy that book about candle magic. I think I've read lots of books about candles before, but that seemed newish, so I got it. She does talk about candles. She did talk about and showed a way of making your own tarot deck. That was interesting. And then that video popped up from Namqua. I think she's relatively new for me, talking about her sharing her Mary L. journal. That was cool, like a scrapbook kind of thing. And then more Terrence McKenna, more learning about OBS, which is Open Broadcaster Software. And then the thing which will probably keep me from buying a lot more decks is wanting one of these, the MacBook Pro. Whoa, when that comes out. Oh, and two more to mention for sure. A guy who, I guess he used to be an English professor or creative writing, I don't know, some sort of teaching how to write. I'm just going to say English teacher, but his name is Scott Bradfield. That's pretty interesting, although the concept of reading in the bathtub is a little odd. Thankfully, only one of his videos was he in a bathtub for. He's funny. He seems like he wants to go back and just read what he called guilty pleasure books, like short stories and that sort of thing, science fiction. I'm not so into the science fiction. Some of the short stories he recommended, I was breezed right through those. They're pretty good, and they're not totally junk reading either. There's some life lessons in some of those, and if they do it just right, in a half an hour you experience quite a bit of stuff vicariously. And there's Rebecca, the Good Wife. I think she's trying to modernize her YouTube channel a little bit as she watches more of the people in the community, I'll say it that way. Nobody Here has a kind of a shout out thing, and those are interesting. There's Jennifer again, there's Nat TJ again, there's another art channel I watch, Fine Art Tips. There's Teo again. I think we're reaching the end of my starting to repeat. There's a guy with 3 balls and a triangle, which I found pretty cool. Raw Spirit, I just started watching. Speaking of animals, it's kind of cool to see a black bear walking around on the edge of your porch in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So those are my shout outs, and I guess I'll end it there and go back and say thank you to Maha's Treasure Box. And with that, I will say peace.